set? Do you have the mics up and all that stuff? Are you ready? How about these things? Are these running?
Yep.
TBN and everything?
TV all good?
Is TV ready? Okay. Well, we had a what I would describe as a very emotional meeting in here with people who have been affected, people who have lost people. The Solace group are people who have lost people in their family. We have a person here who's a recovering addict. We have a lot of stories here of officials here who've had tragedy in their own family. And, you know, I was here during the campaign. I heard a lot about this problem. And then I came here right after the election and met with a tremendous group of people in this community. And all they wanted is some help. All they wanted is give us a few tools so we can engage. I said when I left here that I felt the devil was running rampant in this county. And so we come back, and I'm real pleased to be here to announce some very positive steps to engage in this battle. We really believe that Scioto County can be the tip of the spear, as it's been said in here, to begin to engage a battle that, frankly, most Ohioans don't even know the battle's raging, but it's real, it's for real, and it's taken a lot of people down, and it's destroying a lot of people, and of course a lot of families and a lot of children. I remember, you know, vividly being here with Lisa Roberts before I left. She called me in her office and said, you know, you've got to help us. The sheriff who's here had pictures of people who were dealing drugs right in front of their children. There's a lot of stories here that are very, very compelling. Today we are able to announce that we're going to bring $100,000 to Scioto County. That's guaranteed. We believe we'll have $300,000 more dollars that we believe we can get a match. And that entire $400,000 will be put here. And some people may say, why this place at this time? Because we need to make sure that we have a very focused approach and a focused attack on the evil that lurks in this county that's destroying families. We believe that the folks that are here have the intestinal fortitude. The county commissioner here who organized meetings 2 years ago to try to pull people together. We think people here are willing, ready, and able to launch this battle, to win this war on prescription drugs. And we believe that if we can win it in Scioto County, we can spread it throughout all of Ohio. And we believe that if we can make some gains here in Ohio, that this will allow us to be engaged nationally and to let people nationally know that there are things that can work. Failure is not an option in Scioto County. It is simply not an option. If we were to not win here, well, we're not even going to discuss it. We are going to make progress here. The recidivism rate on prescription drug abuse is 90%. So victory is in some ways relative. I'm going to sign an executive order that will allow the treatment folks to have additional drugs to use to treat people who are addicts. Dr. Johnson, Danny Buck have legislation, and Representative Burke, legislation that's going to work its way through. I was pleased that Terry said it will be an emergency clause. We don't think this lawmaking is enough. It's going to take more than that. It's going to take the determination of the people in this room. Aaron Haslam has been named as the co-coordinator of the Special Prosecutors Unit. We're very excited about that. Mike DeWine and I are in close contact and coordination in terms of bringing a treatment piece, a law enforcement piece, and a judicial piece. Betty Montgomery, the Attorney General, as far as I'm concerned, she's always Attorney General. There's nobody smarter than Betty and no one more determined to public service and to do what's right than Betty Montgomery. She is a special assistant in my office. She's a special assistant to the governor, coordinating between the Supreme Court of Ohio, the Attorney General's office, and of course Orman Hall, who is the director of the alcohol and drug operation inside the state of Ohio. We're also working with the Adams Board and the Adam boards, and I have asked them if they would quickly begin to take some action to come up with some dollars that we think has the potential to be matched federally. We'd have to move quickly on that. As to how successful we'll be on that, I'm not quite sure. But we're going to make every effort to make sure we don't leave any dollars on the table. So from a treatment perspective, from the perspective of education, we have one of the guidance counselors from your school here. From the student's perspective, Taylor Golden, this young 13-year-old boy, made a presentation here today. 13 years old and speaks like he's 30 years old. And all the people that are here, we're starting the battle. The battle's been engaged, but we have some reinforcements today. And we have a partnership that is that goes from Columbus to a place that all too often has been forgotten. We're not going to forget you. We told you we would be back, and we're back in greater force than when we came. And we're going to stay at it, Chief. We're going to stay at it. None of us have ever, no one in this room that I'm aware of has ever turned water into wine. But you know what? With prayer, and I'm glad that that some of the religious community, the clergy, is here. I would anticipate, I would hope at least, some significant marches in this town that drive the devil out of Scioto County. And we don't want them to just drive him across the river. We believe that Orman and Betty will work with West Virginia and Kentucky to make sure that we think about this as a regional problem. If I have to meet with the governor, I will be in Washington for a national governor's meeting. I will raise the issue there about the need to cooperate and coordinate. This is not a crisis that's going to somehow just disappear. This is a crisis that ravages our communities. And we're going to do everything we can to to really have a victory, particularly for the children, because they're the ones that pay the highest price and suffer the most. Orman?
Thank you, Governor. Well, first of all, I think there are several important changes in our approach to this problem that bear mentioning. First, the order that Governor Kasich is going to sign will provide ODATIS with the ability to use a broader range of medication-assisted therapies other than methadone. And this is a critical step in the right direction and one that is long overdue. National studies show that the relapse rate for heroin and opiate addiction is extremely high, and that the use of medication-assisted therapy is desperately needed to assure that a greater number of persons are able to achieve long-term abstinence. Your order allows communities like Portsmouth to access Suboxone and other FDA-approved medications to treat opiate addiction, and again, that is critically important. Next, the allocation of $100,000 in state funds demonstrates the governor's commitment to helping Scioto County. It is also our intent to quickly match and draw down an additional $308,000 of Rehabilitation Services Commission funding. The stated purpose of these funds is to address disabilities which inhibit a person's capacity to attain employment. The use of these funds will require the Counseling Center to assure all clients entering the program have a time-limited, individualized employment plan and meet RSC's most significantly disabled status, which they will. While we shouldn't count our chickens before they hatch, we are moving quickly to secure these funds, and I am optimistic that the RSC project will be prepared to move forward later this spring. We are looking at this combined initiative as a proof of concept project. ODATIS will evaluate its success and use what we learn to alter our approach to opiate addiction throughout the state of Ohio. In effect, Scioto County is the testing ground for how the state of Ohio is going to deal with opiate addiction in the future. In closing, it is my belief that when we look back on these times, we will know three things. Number one, that the prescription drug epidemic was the most serious health crisis of our time. Number two, that 2010, last year, was the high watermark of opiate addiction in our state. And number 3, that Portsmouth was the tip of the spear and the catalyst for important change in our state. We deeply regret your losses, and we are profoundly grateful for the dedication and vision of the family members and professionals here in Portsmouth that have brought this problem to light.
Betty?
Governor, you've used the war analogy, and I guess I would put you as the Allied commander. There are a number of forces here that have all tried to approach this individually, and with your focus, I think we have a collaboration between law enforcement and the Attorney General's office and treatment, and your help with the locals has been tremendous. The judiciary has agreed to, the Chief Justice has agreed to help. We have a collaboration, and we have a general that is not going to let us win this war, lose this war.
You know, one other thing I need to let you know about is there will be a letter sent. I know I've signed it this morning. We hope Mike DeWine will sign it. I expect that he will. And we're asking both the Ohio State Medical Board and the Board of Pharmacy how it is possible that 9.8 prescriptions of opiates were written in this county for 78,000 people. We want to know how it is they missed it. We want to know what knowledge they have and what they're going to do about it. We're going to have a medical board and a pharmacy board. They're going to have to be engaged in this battle as well. And maybe that might make some people uncomfortable. Well, you want to know something? That's okay. The more uncomfortable they are, the more action we will take. So I wanted you to be aware of that as well. We will hold them accountable, and I wouldn't be surprised if at some point there'd be a hearing in the legislature on that, and we just got to get moving on that. Aaron, your own neighbor here from Adams County. Aaron?
Thank you, Governor. Attorney General Mike DeWine is extremely committed to this issue. As you guys are well aware of, approximately 2 weeks ago he announced his initiative to attack prescription drug abuse by devoting many resources to local law enforcement to help with this fight. He was able to come down to Adams County, which is one county west of Scioto County, and talk me into leaving my post as Adams County prosecutor to come to Columbus and help fight this problem. We're a county that's very familiar with the problem. Scioto County is the spearhead of the problem. If we can attack the problem here and win here, which we will, we'll solve and attack the problem in other counties as well, being Adams and other neighboring counties and counties throughout the state.
Beth, any comment you would like to make?
Oh, I'm just completely honored to be here. I think this is
Want to tell them who you are and why you're here? Go ahead.
Sure, my name is Beth Dunlap. I am a recovering addict. I did complete the program that the Counseling Center provides here in Scioto County. I am a local girl. I went through Stepping Stones, transitional living, and also did some work-related programs associated with the Counseling Center. And I now have 2 years clean. I'm employable. I'm very, very grateful. I have a family now that trusts me. I'm just so excited about this. There are a lot of people that, you know, everybody in this room has been affected by somebody with drugs, and this money is going to really, really help this community. Thank you.
Barb?
Yes, sir. My name is Barbara Howard, and a little over 2 years ago, as a matter of fact, October the 1st, 2009, my daughter was taken to one of our local pain clinics, and because there was no pharmacy here to fill the prescription, she was taken to Columbus, Ohio on the 2nd of October, and on October the 3rd at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday morning, I got that dreadful phone call that my daughter was dead. And that's why I'm here, because I am the voice of my daughter. And thank you all, everyone, for listening. I appreciate it.
Joanna?
I'm Joanna Creme. In 2008, I lost my son, Wes Workman, to a drug-related death. And on behalf of my Soulless support group, we just want to say thank you this is something for our kids that we're doing. So, Wes, for all of you, this is for you.
Lisa?
My name's Lisa Roberts. I'm a public health nurse for the city of Portsmouth. And a couple years ago, it became apparent that there was something going on in public health that we had never seen before. And that was that we had a public health epidemic of death, disease, addiction, and crime. And for the first time ever, it appeared to be being caused by healthcare providers. And so we became really organized and dedicated to doing whatever we had to do to address that problem. And I think what we're seeing here today is just the crest of the tidal wave that we've been riding for the last year and a half on this. And I think we can be really proud of ourselves. And I think for the first time, our county feels like we have hope. So
Yes.
thank you, Governor Kasich. Thank you so much.
Dr. Johnson and then Danny Buff real quickly.
Thank you, sir. Terry Johnson, State Representative, 89th District. I was formerly the county coroner here in Sauter County. And as such, I had to go out and look at these people, our friends and neighbors, our relatives, at the lowest possible point of their bodies on earth. And it was a very difficult thing for me. But each and every one of them I treated with dignity and respect and realized they were somebody's son, someone's daughter, someone's mom, someone's dad. And we kept very close, meticulous statistics that the state later picked up and were able to use and help illuminate this problem. We do have a bill. The bill's moving quickly. The governor just announced that we're going to have an emergency clause on this bill. The bill itself is not what's going to be important, though. The important thing is the community coming together as never before. And it's so important that now that we're seeing some success and getting some attention, that we double down on our efforts and actually start to work more efficiently and more cooperatively together. And when the rest of the state looks at Sauter County, and they look at Portsmouth, they're going to say, that is what it takes right there. The folks coming together and saying, we're not going to take this anymore. We're going to take charge. We're not going to wait for the cavalry to come over the hill. We're going to go get the cavalry and bring them here.
Speaking of the cavalry, Danny Buff. Cavalry, the Navy, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force.
You know, there's been a lot of tears shed in this room today before the media come in, folks sharing their testimony all the way from the chief to the judge to others that have been affected by this epidemic of prescription drug abuse. But you know, we have a lot to be thankful for. Even though we're looking at $8 to $10 billion deficit in this state and a host of problems that this man, Governor Kasich, is going to be dealing with, he is focused on this problem. He's been here before. He's here today. I'm thankful for his leadership, for this team that he has assembled, to the good people of the 89th House District for electing Terry Johnson as your state representative. I had introduced a bill last year with Representative Dave Burke on prescription drug abuse and went nowhere. We had the Solace ladies up in Columbus on the State House steps to address it. But now I will tell you, House Bill 93, Terry Johnson, Dave Burke's bill, it's already had hearings. We're meeting tomorrow on it. And I am so encouraged about what it's going to do to help, whether it's Aaron Haslam, Mike DeWine, Betty Montgomery, everyone work together in dealing with this epidemic that's affecting all of us. But most of all, I just want to highlight my thankfulness to this governor. He said before he came in, and I think he said it here, failure is not an option. We're going to win this war on drugs, and I'm so thankful for his leadership. And as Betty said, he is our general, and we're all ready to pick up our packs, sir, and follow you.